This is a 2026 GMC Sierra 2500 AT4X. And in this video, I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to spec this truck if you plan on ordering one. I borrowed it from Seiner GMC here in South Jordan, Utah. This truck is available for sale. Be sure to text Frank. He's one of the sales managers here if you would like to purchase it. Let's go ahead and check out the window sticker so you guys see some of the options, the features on this build. At the very top is the description. Volcanic red tint coat is the color. Obsidian rush interior. And then this is a short listing of the standard features. Be sure to pause to see more. Base price is $85,200. And this one only has the diesel option with the paint with fifth wheel prep. Destination is $27.95 for a total price of $99,175. These trucks have gotten so expensive. 99 grand. I think I bought my truck with more options for under $96,000. So yeah, it's insane. And that's in part to the destination charge, and obviously just the base price has gone up since then too. And if you get the AEV edition, it's like $110,000. That truck was like around $104,000, $105,000 when they first released it. Now, obviously, if you want the AEV edition, it is a lot of money. For me personally, I would skip it just because I only like the front bumper. I don't really need the skid plates and the rear bumper, so that's why I skipped it. And I finally found a bumper a year and a half later for $2,000. So I saved a bunch of money not going with that AEV edition. I want to say I probably saved about $2,400 because I did have to buy a mounting kit for the bumper to work from AEV. So that was expensive and I still came out on top. Now, if you are looking to get one of these, I always recommend you get it with the high idle switch. I believe that you can get that added after the fact, so you can reach out to your dealer if you already own one of these trucks, or if you're looking to buy one like this and it doesn't have it, you should be able to add that onto the truck. Now, on the front end, you guys see, this is how you know you have an AT4X. You have the black bumpers, especially if you don't have a black truck, and then you have this bronze finish on the front end too. This one also doesn't have the lower valance right there, so that's pretty much how you can tell this is an AT4X truck. Red recovery hooks, front parking sensors, camera up front with a sprayer. And this is another way you can tell that this is an X, is the Multimatic suspension. Now, I did buy my truck because of this suspension, but I'm not really impressed with it. So I have done a lot of upgrades to my truck, so if you want to go back and watch my videos, feel free. But they did redesign the upper and lower control arms and steer knuckle to help with this 1.5 inch taller ride height, but this truck in total has a 2-inch lift basically. Now, you do have an open diff on the front end, and then you guys see the tires. See some big old tires, which are Goodyear Wrangler Territory MTs LT 305/70/18, which is basically 34.8 inches tall, 12 inches wide. So this is a pretty meaty tire, and they look great going down the road. You guys see right here, 3,750 pounds of capacity, 65 psi max for these tires. So what's nice about AT4X is this, because you'll see this on the door sticker later, you can run these at 55 psi, and if you want, you can run them even lower. I run mine around like 47 up front, 49 in the rear, and it does really make the ride a little bit softer. So power deployable running boards are standard. You can see you have a 2500 badge right here. Also block heater plug, clearance lights, more lights on the mirrors, more of that bronze. And this one does have the clearance lights too. This light's for backing up at night. And then you have a power folding mirror with heat. Also smart key system. And let's see, you guys can see one of your skid plates for your transfer case. Also, you can probably see up front some of your protection up there. It's really nice. On this side, you can see the diff mount. So that's a diff mount for this lift. So they did lower that slightly just to help with the angles of that CV axle. 6'10" bed, 36-gallon fuel tank, 7-gallon DEF. I'm seeing this more and more now. You know, one of my favorite things about people online is this: no one ever tells the truth. Everyone knows everything online, but the reason why GM put this on here is because people keep adding DEF to their diesel tank. If you mess up and do that, don't start the truck. If you start the truck, you're screwed. But if you see that you did it, even if you put a little bit in there, don't start the truck, because it's going to cost you about $15,000 to $20,000 right there. Out back, you guys see the leaf pack here. You still have an overbuilt suspension, wax coating on the frame, and they do give you a liner out back. Steps built into the rear bumper, and you do have these unique tail lights for AT4 and this X. Parking sensors, camera provisions right here, and this one does have the multi-pro tailgate with the kicker sound system built in. 4 and 7 pin bed lights, 5th wheel prep package, and then 2 cameras up here, power sliding glass with defrost, sunroof, all that's standard. Down below, 342 rear, and that is going to be with a electronic locker. My favorite thing about this truck is you do get a matching wheel and tire for going off-road. And then here's a side view of the beast. Now, real quickly, one of my least favorite things about this truck is they don't give you a lot of cool colors. Volcanic red is probably the coolest color you can get with this truck, and I would like to see some oranges, some greens, you know, just something a little different, some deep blues. I mean, I don't really think, yeah, there's no blue color really for the X that I can think of right now. Someone could chime in the comment section, but yeah, this is probably the coolest color you can get with the X. Let's check out what's under the hood. So this is the 6.6 liter Duramax diesel V8, good for 470 horsepower, 975 pound-feet of torque. All that power does go through a 10-speed transmission. So this one doesn't have the stamp of approval on it. They got rid of that, but it's supposed to be coming back soon. So if I were building this truck, I probably would skip the dual alternator. Now, that's just because simply I don't plan on running a bunch of aftermarket stuff, and I would probably want to do some upgrades. So when you have that alternator, it does take up more real estate under the engine, so I would skip it personally. So yeah, I like the idea of the high idle switch. So for 200 bucks, get that for sure. It's an easy add-on. And something else I would consider too is getting the camper package, because that would increase the axle rating up front. Basically, it goes from 5,600 pounds to 6,000 pounds. So the reason why I would do that now on my truck is because I did add the heavier bumper, right? And I'm planning to add the winch. So you're putting more weight on the front end. So I think that it's a good idea to increase that capacity on the front end of this truck. And it's only like, what, 160 I don't know. I don't think it's even that expensive. I'll show it to you here, but it's not a lot of money. And if you want to add the brush guard that AEV just came out with, that's even more weight on the front end. So I think personally, if you want to add a bunch of aftermarket stuff on the front end, that might be a really good option to get. I think this is the #1 reason why people buy the AT4X, the interior. Even if they need a 1-ton, they'll skip it just so they can have this Obsidian Rush interior. And I don't blame them, because this is really, really nice. You have 16-way seats with massage function. The only other way you can get this is if you get the Denali Ultimate, but that gives you like the saddle cowboy feel for the truck. And some people don't like that, although I would have gotten that interior for my AT4X personally. Now, I would have probably chose a different color for the exterior, but regardless of it, I do like this saddle. You also get the suede on the roof. They also give you on the A and B pillars, and it just gives it a nice upscale look. Leather wrapping here. If you get a regular AT4, the interior is still nice, but you just don't get those 16-way seats. And you can actually increase the bowstring, so you can get nice and hugged in the seat. That way if you're going off-road, you get a little bit more support. You also have a shoulder support here. And who doesn't like that white stitching with the white piping? A little bit of red accents too. 12 speaker Bose. And as I said on the outside, you have all those power functions for the mirror. So you have that tow mode and power folding. Out back, a little bit of storage here. More storage there. Center armrest with cup holders. Outboard heated seats, air vents, cup holders up there. You can't drop down the headrest for more visibility. And then seat back pockets. One nice advantage for the GMC trucks over the Ford is this. They do give you a rating for a bed camper right here. If you're getting a Ford truck, they don't offer this with the Tremor package. And I was shocked by that. So you have a rating of 2,126 pounds for a bed camper. And that's without the camper package too. A little bit of storage up top here. Love the appointment to the dash. 13.4 inch display. And then here's that center console. I would recommend getting the sport pedals. One, they look cool, and I like the grip that they have compared to these. I think that because the rubber is spaced out a little bit more, if you do have dirt, you know, under your shoe, they just support better when you're pushing the pedals there. So this is a cheap option you can get. Now, I forgot to mention this on the outside, but the blackout for the badging, I would skip that, because even though it would get installed at the dealership, the problem with the badging from the factory is they don't give you a full blackout for the emblems on the front end. These would have a blackout completed, but on the front, for whatever reason, they only black out the red here and they keep the chrome, and it looks tacky. This would get blacked out here, and you can buy those badges separately from the GMC badges. So real quickly, let's just kind of go through some of the instrument here. Heads up display, push button start. Here's all your controls for your climate. You can disable the buckle seat belt to shift. But yeah, right here, 360. Also, as I said, bed view. And you have this camera view too. Exhaust brakes down there. Lane keep assist alert. So it'll just vibrate the seat. It will not turn the steering wheel. Parking sensors can be disabled. You can drop the tailgate. Caution lights, traction control. You can drop all the windows down, and then this is your electronic locker with downhill assist right there. You can set a cruise control for this from like 1, 2, 3, 4 miles an hour. So if you're going downhill and you want to have better control, because that way you're not having to deal with the gas pedal and the brake pedal. You can just deal more so with the steering, and I like that. But yeah, overall, this is a nice truck. I think that I would like to see more color options that are just a cool color. Like look at that Honda over there. That Honda has a really nice orange on it, for example. It would be nice to see just different color options on these trucks for sure. Now, something that I don't normally point out, you guys see my phone is on the wireless charger, and here's where that wireless charger is. And by the way, you do have a lockbox option too, and I would probably recommend getting that too if you do have firearms. You can see right here, you have your USBs. This is the only power plug, by the way. But yeah, if you don't put your phone correctly on this wireless charger, like it's saying that it's charging, right? And look what happens when it identifies it's not charging anymore. See that? It goes to a caution saying your phone's not charging. And these are good for long trips, because when you use USBs, they overcharge the phone. So if your phone's already charged, then this is bad to use. I like the idea of the wireless charger because it's more of a trickle charge for the phone. Let's go ahead and check out the numbers on the door. Gross axle weight rating out front is going to be 5,600 pounds. The rear is 6,600 pounds. Gross vehicle weight rating is 11,350.
18x9 wide wheels, and then all-in payload is 2,876 pounds. Curb weight is 8,474 pounds. Pretty heavy truck. Conventional towing is 18.5, gooseneck is 18.1. Gross combined weight rating is 27,500 pounds. So this truck can still tow quite a bit. And then you guys see here, that's your yellow sticker showing you the tire pressure at 55 PSI all the way around. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is a really nice truck. For the money, it still is a hard truck to beat. I know it's hard to hear when you see a $100,000 truck. It should be hard to beat at 100K, but for what you're getting in this package, it really is nice.